Hi there, I'm Anna Seisling with Great Lakes Now, and I'm really grateful to be joined today by Sally Cole-Misch, author of The Best Part of Us. It's a really great book that's also a featured pick in this year's Great Lakes Great Read program. And I'm really excited to talk today with Sally about the book and about this really incredible program that has included her going all around the region, talking about the themes that are in this book and connecting with folks all throughout the Great Lakes. Sally, it's great to be with you today.
Oh, it's wonderful to be with you, Anna. Thank you so much.
All right, so I want to just kind of dive right in, Sally, and ask you a little bit about The Best Part of Us, this book that you wrote back in 2020. Now, some of our Great Lakes Now audience, they might remember that you did a Q&A with one of our regular contributors, Gary Wilson, about the book back then. But for those who are watching who aren't familiar with the book, let's kind of start there. Set us up, talk us through what are some of the themes and kind of the overall plot of the book without any spoilers.
Okay, great. So, the best part of us tells the story of a three-generation family with really deep connections with each other and with an island and lake along the shores of northern Lake Huron. And the story follows them as far as their connection with each other, with other residents of the lake, including Ojibwe families and tribe, and how their best of intentions really become the worst of outcomes. So how do they each react individually and collectively when those outcomes result in them having to leave the island and having those connections with a place that they dearly love are severed, and also their connections with each other, and how over time do they come of age, so to speak, no matter what their age, to realize what's really the most valuable things in their lives and what actions will they take. So
Mhm.
my goal is really to immerse people in the absolute gorgeous beauty of the Canadian Shield region of Lake Huron, but also to help people think about where are their loyalties, what is most valuable to them, and also the essential roles that family, nature, and place hold in all of our lives.
Mhm. Can you talk a little bit about the characters and the themes and the ways that these are just total fabrications, or are they, different things that you kind of drew inspiration from in your own life and your own lived experience?
Sure. So, from my own lived experience, I've been incredibly fortunate to grow up in a family that we spent all of our vacations outdoors. So, I developed a really strong um, appreciation and love for nature and recognizing that we're part of it and it's part of us. So, that was really a grounding not only for my personal writing, but also for my professional career in environmental communications and policy. And what I really found was I started as a journalist originally, and we really felt, this is aging myself, but in the late 70s, 80s, that we really had to start hammering home all of the horrible ways we were impacting the planet. And what we realized over time that was just scaring people. It was just turning people away. We all were paralyzed with fear. How do we actually change our ways? What can we do to help? So thousands of studies from psychologists and environmental scientists, so many people, we realized that we needed to help people get out into nature first because it provides so many benefits, as we're all hearing about now with forest walking and the ions that moving water we absorb every time we're around it. All these things that help our sense of stress and anxiety and isolation and our cognitive skills, even. So we decided to change all of our communication messaging to really look at how do we get people out to nature and to value it and appreciate it, because what we value, we obviously will act to protect. And that had an incredible difference in our own communication strategies and our results. So I started to think about how could I write a story as a lifelong fiction reader. How could I write a story that helps to connect people with nature?
Okay. And before we get into talking a little bit about the Great Lakes Great Read program, I want to just kind of also briefly ask you to touch on the fact that, as you just alluded to a moment ago, your background is in journalism. You moved into being an environmental communicator, working for a long time with a good partner of GLN, the International Joint Commission. What was it like transitioning out of doing environmental communication into doing a book that is, I imagine has many overlapping themes, but a very different approach to writing and thinking about these things?
Mhm. Yeah, it's an interesting question, Anna. I started the idea of writing the book while I was still working at the IJC. And just like my factual career where all of my writing based on a lot of research and working with other people, I sought out what I could find, what I thought was the best program for me to teach me how to write fiction. And that was a Stanford University continuing studies program where you actually, over 3 years, we were Zooming before there was, COVID Zooming, and we were doing classes. There were students from 8 different countries, I think, and the professors were amazing. And over 3 years, we learned all about characterization and plot and setting and editing and all the other parts of it. So I really approached it much in the similar way that I always did in my professional career as far as the research and trying to learn how to do it before I even tried it, right? So it was um it was a wonderful experience, but I also really looked at when those characters, as I said before, when they would kind of take over the story, I would return to the research because that was comforting to me. And so, whether I was researching about how loons and eagles nest and raise their young, or about Anishinaabe culture and traditions, the Manitous, whatever it was, that helped me ground the story for me personally as I was writing, to really help me feel like I had some control over it actually, that it wasn't just the characters leading the way. It's been a really fun experience, and, because my book came out in the height of COVID, I really focused on we had to do a launch party online, we had to, do most of the marketing online. And I have really found incredible pleasure out of as I transitioned away from the IDC, retiring and really focusing on the book. It's just been an incredible joy to talk with book clubs. I've done over 70. I and met in person with people, and as I do speeches and stuff around the basin, it's just been an incredible gift for me.
All of these book clubs and tours and conversations that you've been having around the region is kind of the perfect segue into talking a little bit about this really fabulous Great Lakes Great Read program. And full disclosure, that's like actually how you and I crossed paths. And so it was really cool to see, that this had already been covered back when the book came out in 2020. But like I have to confess, it was new to me, even though it's on the Great Lakes Now website already. So talk a little bit about this program, some of the different partners that are involved and sort of what goes into it.
So, Great Lakes Great Read is just a fabulous new idea program. This is its first year. I'm thrilled to be that the novel was chosen as the adult selection, and Joanne Robertson, who wrote The Water Walker, is the children's selection. And it's such a great combination because it is about the whole Anishinaabe culture and about Josephine Manaman, who has walked the Great Lakes for years until her passing and continues. There are people and groups that continue to do that. I think they're doing hopefully Lake Michigan this summer. But it's actually modeled after what a lot of people might be familiar as the one book, one community idea, where one community will choose a book through their libraries or schools or book clubs to choose to read one book during a particular time and then talk about it with each other. And this whole idea is to do one book throughout the whole Great Lakes region.
So for people who want to learn more about the Great Lakes Great Read program or maybe try to get their local library involved in it or get, a different sort of little branch of it kickstarted in their community, where can folks go to find out more about this whole program?
So the most direct way is to go to greatlakesgreatread.org is the website. You can find out tons of information about the Great Lakes, about the program itself, how you can become involved. And the Library of the Great Lakes.org is another excellent website. Both of them have an incredible bibliography of potential Great Lakes reads, um, factual or nonfiction. So they're both excellent resources, and really anyone can participate. It doesn't have to be a library, it could be a school, it could be just your local book club. You can all participate and be a part of this growing program.
Awesome. All right. Well, Sally Cole-Misch, author of The Best Part of Us, which is the current adult selection for the really incredible Great Lakes Great Read program. Thank you so much for your time. It's been really nice talking with you.
You too. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out our YouTube channel for even more Great Lakes Now. See you out on the lakes.